are certain times that God will open up a window when you can talk to your child, because they're at a point of readiness. And you got to be able to discern when you got the favor of God has opened a window, and they will come to you at the most inopportune time and ask you a question, and you got to be spiritually discerning enough to realize God has opened up this window for my child to come here. Now is the time for me to talk to them. I couldn't just talk to them when it was burning on me and I wanted to tell them about themselves. But now God has given you a window of opportunity to be able to speak the truth into their life that they need desperately to hear. The word opportunity, say opportunity. The word opportunity in etymology, here's the word, its root there is the word port. In every city, there was a port. The portal cities, these port cities in various places around the globe were very, very critical in terms of trade and commerce coming into the city. That's where all of the value, the goods were brought in on ships, and they were unloaded at the port. But there were times that ships could not just come into the port at any times. Sometimes the tide was too high for it to come in, and other times it was too low, and they had to wait until the port opened. You can't do anything until the port opens. You have to wait until the window is open. You can't push because you're hurting. You can't push because you're desperate. You can't push because you're anxious. God will say, just blow it away. Just trust me. Wait on me. I'm getting them ready. I mean, you don't understand why your person hasn't come into your life yet. They might not be saved yet. And God, if he brought them right now, if you went out there and tried to get them right now before God has done the work in them, you will be sorry. I'm telling you, God won't make you do right, but he sure will make you wish you had done right. He's saying, wait a minute. He says, I'm going to give you the critical opportunity, because you're dealing with somebody now who is arrogant, who is full of themselves. And God says, listen, I got to bring a little tragedy in their life. I'm going to use some other people to humble them, to get them right, just for you. And he says, when I get them ready for you, where they don't feel like they are God's gift to women, God's gift to men. You know, when I work the work in them, I will open to you a port, and you will have a window of opportunity. There's a window of opportunity. The port has to open. When God opens for you a port, God says, I am watching for that port to open. I'm waiting for the opportunity. And it's not only God who waits for the right opportunity. The devil waits for the right opportunity. The devil's greatest virtue is patience. To be able to wait. He's a patient little devil. He will lie in wait and say, you know what, I'm going to just wait until they get into this high position. I'm going to wait until they get up here. I'm going to wait until they get all this stuff. I'm going to wait until they get the blessing, and I will bring them down. He gets a greater joy out of saying that the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And so he wants to be able to wait until you get into a high position, an influential position. He wants to wait until you get right in the middle of your life and then make you act a fool. You know, if you're going to act a fool, you may as well do it when you don't have anything. But he will wait until you built up a little reputation and you got 15 cents in the bank and got a little house and stuff. I'm telling you, he will wait till you get something and jack you up. I'm telling you, that devil, that slewfoot, he's a shrewd little rascal, and he is patient. And so you have to realize you're going to have some serious challenges in bringing about your dream. If your dream does not have any enemies, the devil probably gave you the dream. Now here's a word of wisdom that I want to speak into your ears right now. You ready for me to prophesy? You must identify the right fight. I want to say something that it will touch your ears right now. So Lord, give me ears to be able to hear this. David's real fight was not with Goliath, it was with Saul. It was not Goliath. It was Saul. He fought Goliath for Saul. And I want you to remember that David spent 15 years of his life running away from Saul, who tried to kill him. Saul made several attempts on David's life. His real enemy was not Goliath. It was Saul. It was somebody that he had served. Somebody who got jealous of them because they heard folks in the streets saying that Saul has slain his thousands, but David his tens of thousands. There's a man that he was working for, producing results for, and they got jealous of him. Ain't that a blimp to be working your fingers to the bone for somebody else, and they get jealous of you and start hating on you when you, anybody know, you got to identify the real fight. Isn't it a mess when you've been working and the very enemy that you were fighting, the person that you thought that loved you, is the one that puts you up to it. And the real fight was this jealousy, this insecurity that was in Saul. One of the greatest plagues of our world are egocentric, egotistical, insecure leaders. And Saul was one. And here David, who was totally loyal in his heart, he was pure in his heart, and to the pure all things are pure. And here he is trying to serve it, and Saul was his greatest enemy. That's who he had to fight. But thank God, I told you that, can two walk together except they be agreed? Can two walk together except by divine appointment? And God allowed a divine appointment with Saul's own flesh, Jonathan, to become the entry point, divine connection, into David's life to help him to get into the palace. You have to understand that David is a country boy. He knows nothing about the aristocracy of the protocol of a king in a palace. What does he know about that? He's a country boy with mud oozing between his toes. He's been out with stinking dumb animals all of his life, and he knows nothing about the refined life of living in a palace. But Jonathan does. Jonathan was raised in a palace. He knows all of the etiquette of the palace. And so God takes a Jonathan who has everything that David needs, the missing pieces to his life to get him refined. He is his boiling pot to take off the rough edges, and God will bring people into your life when you don't even know the right protocol, and you'll be invited to dinner tables and won't even know which fork to use and spoon to use and which glass is yours and which bread plate is yours, and God will have somebody say, baby, put the other one up, just watch me, just look at me, just look at me, and what I'm using, that's what you use. Keep smiling, baby, keep smiling, watch me, but keep. Isn't it wonderful? I'm so glad that God will give you people in your life that really love you, and they'll really love you even when their daddy, who's in control, hates you. And so his real fight was not with Goliath that he took out, but it was with Saul, the one that was close to him. When you're living with an enemy who you think that loves you, and they're working against you surreptitiously, there they are having clandestine operations against you, got you under surveillance, looking at you, thinking that you're trying to overthrow them, and none of that was in David's heart. But it was an insecure leader. It was an insecure leader. And so God says, listen, there's some things in Israel here, and he said, I'm going to put you in a boiling pot. I've got to refine some things. God's always concerned about making us better. He really is. God, he loves us as we are, but he loves us too much to leave us as we are. Do you know that he loves babes, but he never leaves babes as babes? God's greatest desire is to mature his people. He's there to mature the bride. And so I just want to tell you that identify your real fight. Because sometimes the very thing that you think is your greatest struggle is not your greatest struggle, it's a decoy. So identify the real fight is Saul, not Goliath. And never quit something because with great long-term potential. Never quit something with great long-term potential just because you can't deal with the stress of the moment. I love something that Florence Littar said. She talked about the stages of developing a dream. I want to share them with you. Stage one, you dare to dream. You dare to dream. When you dare to dream, that means to take a risk, to step out of your comfortable surroundings and situations. Just dare to dream. And then prepare to dream. Prepare the dream. Prepare the dream. See, the setup determines the success. The setup determines the success. All is well that begins well. Preparation gives your dream a chance. Preparation gives your dream a chance. See, dreams don't just die. They commit suicide through a lack of preparation. They don't just die. Prepare the dream. Dare to dream, prepare the dream. And then wear the dream. Wear the dream. Put it on. Your dream is not an addendum to your life. Your dream is your life. It is your life. It's not an addendum to your life. It is your life. You have to become the embodiment of the dream. And then repair the dream. Repair the dream. That's continual maintenance that is needed to keep the dream going. That's why some people's dreams grow cold. You have to repair the dream. Dreams need constant, tender, loving care, because there'll be people that will speak injurious words against your dream trying to discourage you. You have to repair your dream. That's why you have to go back and read it again. That's why he says write it, so you can read it and run with it. He knows you're going to get discouraged at times and almost throw your hands up and want to give up on it. You have to repair the dream. And then finally, share the dream. Share the dream. Pass it on to others. Give other folks ownership, and then accomplish the dream together. And Martin Luther King said, I have a dream, but then he sold that dream to his people. And his people took ownership of the dream. You have to share the dream. If you really got a dream, share it. It might get you in trouble sometime, like it got Joseph in trouble, but share the dream. And the only reason that he had to share it is because his dream was not merely something that he had, it was something that had him. He was wearing the dream. He couldn't help it. You wonder why, You wonder why he couldn't keep his mouth shut with his brothers. But he was wearing the dream. You have to wear the dream. Have you ever heard the expression of what a difference a day makes? Isn't it amazing that the difference that a day makes? Just think about the difference that a day makes. I mean, you can have a birth in the family. Just a baby being born changes your whole family in a day, in one day. You can have a death in the family, and in one day that death changes everything. Isn't it amazing? You can get married in a day. What a difference a day makes, and your whole life changes, sometimes for the better and sometimes for the worse. But it can change all in a day, all in a day. Just what a difference a day can make. You can have an accident, leave you paralyzed, and it happened all in one day. Just one day. It's a bit difference that a day makes. But what if we said, what a difference a dream makes? What a difference a dream makes. What a difference a dream makes. Because somebody with a significant dream can become a catalyst for change in our world just through a dream. Just through a dream. Now I want to identify for you some things that that we'll see here as a foundation in Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 3. It mentions that a prudent person foresees danger and takes precautions. The simpleton goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. Isn't that interesting? A prudent person, a wise person, foresees danger and takes precaution. They prepare for it. But the simpleton, I like the way they dress it up, the simpleton, that's a fool. It says the fool goes blindly on and suffers the consequences. It's interesting. Now, there's no magic no magic power in having a dream. You can't just wait for it. You have to work for it. But I want to identify for you dream killers so that you can be on guard against dream killers. Here's number one, is believing that you will not encounter any resistance, that is going to be easy and that everyone is going to be excited for you. Building your dream is not going to be easy. Taking a dream from the dream stage into a reality is not an easy process. And it's not something that happens overnight. It happens over time. It's not easy. So if you believe that the encounter is not going to experience any resistance, you're setting yourself up for a rude awakening. Here's number two, is looking at failure as confirmation that you should not have done what you are attempting, rather than using that as a lesson to be learned. You have to look at it, when you fail, our failures teach us our greatest lessons. They teach us our greatest lessons. Here's the third thing, is believing that prayer alone will cause your dream to manifest. You don't reap what you pray for, you reap what you sow. You reap what you sow. So that has to do with our works. Yes, you do pray. You pray for the dream. You pray to prepare yourself for the folks that need to be connected. As you get ready to go into particular strategic areas, you want to have prayer working for you. But prayer alone won't do the job. It's a dream killer if you think that prayer alone is going to do what we have to do in a collaborative work with God. Here's number four, believing that you will succeed simply because you are talented or gifted or creative. You know, just because you the man, you the woman, because you just got it like that. I can't tell you how many creative, talented failures that there are in the world who never realize their dream. I've seen homeless people on the side of the road with incredible talent, but they never work their dream. They never work their dream. Just believing that the world is going to beat a path to your door just because you're cute. Just because you're talented. You know, no, that's got to be something more. If you have that belief, that becomes a dream killer. Here's number five. Is failing to live your life now while waiting on your dream to manifest. You got to realize you don't want your dream to become a land of destination, so you have destination disease. You have to learn how to enjoy your life now while you're working on your dream, while you are building your dream. You've got to learn to have joy in the journey. Joy in the journey. Joy in the journey. It's joy in the journey. You know, I wish that we could bring the reality to people when we perform marriages, and you know, because you know how fairy tales say, and they got married and live happily ever after. That's a process. You work on that. But it's not that, hey, that after we've been married for 25 years, then we're going to be at this place. No. You want to have fun all during those years. You want to have fun all during those years. I'm having a blast with Dr. Nina. We're not waiting for, you know, we've gone 28 years already, you know. But you know, we had a blast in year 1, a blast in year 2, a blast in year 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're just, you know, we're not waiting to reach our golden years before we start enjoying ourselves in the marriage, you know. No. We are celebrating all along. You know, we're building. It's just, this is an accumulative blessing that we are just enjoying God's favor. The Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and don't leave this out, obtains favor of the Lord. My God, that is a favor that comes on your life when you get hooked up with the right one. I'm just telling you, and it blesses your life in an incredible way. So failing to live your life now while waiting on your dream to manifest is a terrible, terrible dream killer. Here's number 6. Dedicating yourself to everyone else's dream for your life. Trying to do what everybody else wants you to do. Trying to make mama happy. Living out mama's dream. Mama had to live her own dream. Now, you can't do anything about the fact that she never lived her dream, and now she's in the land of regret. And now she's trying to craft what she wished she had done in and through you. You're different. You will make yourself miserable trying to live somebody else's dream for your life. It's a terrible dream killer. Some people, when you have sweethearts and you're trying to please, you know, folks that mean something to you, but you cannot live their dream for you. You got to live the dream that God has crafted for your life. And so that's a great, great mistake. Here's number 7, is falling in love with the way that things are rather than how they should be. If you fall in love with how things are as opposed to how they should be, that's a dream killer. It's a dream killer. Here's number 8, is procrastinating, always saying later whenever you want to pursue the dream that the Lord has put in your heart. Because see, when your heart is moved with compassion, you have to learn to respond quickly, or you know what? You'll talk yourself out of it. You'll talk yourself out of it. So when you procrastinate too long, it's a dream killer. It's a dream killer. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. When you procrastinate too long, it's a dream killer. Here's number 9. Allowing people who have never accomplished anything significant to tell you that you can't either. I mean, folks who've never done anything significant with their life, and they want to shoot your dream down. They're like, oh, here come the golden child now. And they want to shoot you down because they've never done anything of significance. Other people that are big dreamers, they have a magnanimous spirit, and they will encourage your dream, not murder your dream. But other folks who haven't done anything of significance, they are so pessimistic in their world. They have this terrible view of the world, very, very sinister. They are oftentimes narcissists. And they don't really have any concern for you, and because it didn't work for them, they assume that it's not going to work for you, because they're like, you know what? I started out like you. I was all young and ambitious, thought I was going to change the world. You know, I mean, and they honestly think that they're just being real, keeping it real with you, trying to save you heartache, because they failed to realize their dream. They want to project their failure on your life and assume that because they didn't make it, you're not going to make it either. And you have to divorce yourself from that kind of thinking. If you get sick, and if you find other people that got sick with the same sickness that you have and they died, you got to say, not for me. I don't know anything about what happened to them over there and why they died, but I shall live and declare the works of the Lord. I will live and declare the works of the Lord. Here's number 10, not trusting anyone, feeling like the only way for something to be done right is for you to do it. That way you never believe in others or ask them to come alongside of you. If you can accomplish your dream all by yourself, it's not a dream that came from God. God will give you a dream that must involve the lives of other people to help you. You cannot do a God dream alone. God didn't make his dreams to be fulfilled independent of people. He designed them to be done interdependently with people. So there are some folks that God has to orchestrate and call to be a part of the fulfillment of the dream. And sometimes you are just waiting, and there are people that you don't even understand. God will say, I've given you a word and I've told you to obey me. And when you walk, there are people that he's already got positioned at certain forks in the road on your journey who are there to help you when you get to that point. But unless you bust a move and will walk out the part that you can do and start moving in the direction of your dream, there are some folks, I know you can't do it all, and you don't even have all of the answers and know where it's coming from. But when you start moving with a clarity will begin to draw into your life, the very thing, they'll start moving toward you, and you will see them and understand them when you have a clarity in your dream, the folks that God has already planted on the road to be able to help you. Here's number 11, is buying into the lie that you are average or ordinary, that others may be able to do great things, but there's no way that you could ever accomplish anything significant. Don't buy into the lie. Don't buy into the lie that you are average, that you are not an average Joe. You're not an average Josephine. You are not average. You have to look at it and say that a dream is the thing that makes you exceptional. You know, it's not that we are so great, but we serve a great God. And it is a great God that'll put a great dream on the inside of you, a great God that'll put a great vision on the inside of you. But if you buy into the thing average, you will absolutely disqualify yourself from any greatness that God could ever bring into your life. If you believe that you are just an average person and that nothing significant could come through your life. And here's number 12, is never asking God to set you on fire with his passion and plans for your life. It is a dream killer. If you don't ask God to set you on fire and let you begin to burn with the very things that he has placed in your life, God so loves you in an incredible way, and he has given God-given dreams into God-favored men and women that are designed to make a God-blessed world. And I pray that you will just take the faith of the living God and use that faith that God brings into your life so that you can overcome every adversity, every dream killer, that you will identify them and recognize them and know that God will cause you to live in spite of them. I hope you got something out of the word of the Lord tonight.
Thank you for watching Power for Living with Bishop Dale C. Bronner. Join us again next time for Power for Living, where revelation is power. Power for living.